Today, President Andrzej Duda of Poland made an official state visit to the White House. Did you hear? He was there, among other things, to discuss our military presence in Poland as part of the NATO alliance. Now, this is an issue you've probably heard about before because we've talked about it, and people who read this part of the world know about this. One of the big sticking points here is the perception of belligerence on the part of NATO's expansion into Eastern Europe. Something most consider to be a, well, frankly, speaking historically, a broken promise by the United States of America. For more on this, we're joined now by NRS correspondent Michele Greenstein, who's here to tell us. It's the NATO part that I guess a lot of Americans don't understand, and Poland kind of is one of those countries in Eastern Europe that finds itself at the apex of this, right?
That's right, and today we saw a development on that front. Today, both President Duda and President Trump signed a joint declaration on defense cooperation, where Poland is going to provide the infrastructure for 1,000 additional U.S. troops on Poland's soil. Now, between 4,000 and 5,000 U.S. troops are already in Poland as part of a 2016 NATO agreement, but Trump was very, he thought it was very important to establish that the Polish people are going to be the ones paying for this additional military deployment. So let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Okay.
As stated in the joint declaration, the United States and Poland continue to enhance our security cooperation. Poland will still provide basing and infrastructure to support military presence of about 1,000 American troops. The Polish government will build these projects at no cost to the United States. The Polish government will pay for this.
You were there at the White House today.
I was.
You saw these two presidents standing side by side next to each other. Did you sense that there was the proper chemistry and that Poland really is on the side or wants the United States and its troops in its country?
In terms of chemistry, I don't know about that. It did seem pretty boring, if I do say so myself. But when Trump was asked by a reporter why Poland is seen as such an important ally, he said, quote, "I just have a warm feeling about them." So that I find pretty interesting. Trump also emphasized that Poland is one of only 8 NATO countries that's actually living up to their commitment of 2% of GDP towards NATO. And he also was very quick to say, hey, Germany is not living up to what they're supposed to do with respect to NATO. He also said that Germany is making a tremendous mistake by relying very heavily on Russian natural gas, which makes sense because Poland has been increasing its buy of U.S. natural gas.
Well, this is what's interesting that a lot of people, I guess, have to understand. We can't talk about Poland without looking at history, right? The Poles hate the Russians because the Russians attacked them. They hate the Germans because the Germans attacked them. Not too long ago, there's people alive today who have that as part of their history, right? So they look to the U.S. as the good guys.
Right.
So the U.S. is really in a great situation in this.
You know what else? It really seems as though Poland is trying to make a bid to become the U.S.'s preferred ally in Europe. Now that Germany has been inching closer towards Russia with that joint pipeline with Russia, right? That natural gas pipeline. Look, Poland has been lobbying the U.S. for a permanent U.S. military base for quite a while. The Polish Ministry of Defense said that they want to send a clear message to Russia that the U.S. is on their side. But of course, you know, it was nicknamed Fort Trump, and there was a lot of media coverage about that. But that's, of course, very expensive. So instead of that, it looks like the U.S. is moving towards the, increasing of rotational troops route.
If you look at the geopolitics of the region, that is a good ally for the United States. It's good for us to have Poland on our side.
Poland wants to be that ally. In the past year, they have really gotten behind us. They supported U.S. sanctions on Iran. You know, they're not Germany in terms of that joint Russian pipeline. And like I said, they're increasing U.S. natural gas. So between that and between the new announcement of them buying 32 F-35 Lockheed Martin fighter jets, it really looks like, they're making a bid towards becoming our guy there.
And let us just add that they also happen to make the best kielbasa or sausage in the entire world.
That was actually 20 minutes of the press conference this afternoon.
Was it really? They
No.
talked. No. Okay. I thought for a minute they may have mentioned it.
I wish.
Me too. Thanks, Michele. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
I'm Rick Sanchez. You found us on YouTube, and that's awesome. But you know what? I'm also live every night at 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern on DirecTV and Dish and cable and satellite, the RT app, and Pluto TV. I'll see you there.